It is 6:00 p.m. I call this meeting of the Miami Township Board of Trustees to order. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll. Mr. Posey.
Present.
Mr. Culp.
Here.
Mr. Morris, absent.
Mr. Morris has a funeral today. Chief Stiegelmeyer, you have the reading of casualties.
Good evening, Board. The following is a list of first responder casualties for the period of May the 4th through May the 16th of 2023. Deputy Sheriff Katie Leasing, St. Croix County Sheriff's Office, Wisconsin, end of watch May 6th, 2023. Police Officer Robert Schisler, Deptford Township Police Department, New Jersey, end of watch May 7th, 2023.
Will you please join me in a moment of silence? Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I move we approve the consent agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey.
Yes.
Mr. Culp.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is new business. Chief Stiegelmeyer, you have a motion for a liquor permit at 5855 Springboro Pike with 5855 Springboro Pike LLC.
Yes, sir, I do. Again, good evening, Board. I have in front of you and in your packet information about a new liquor permit that we received from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control. It is a new permit for Lindo, Guadalajara. And what they're going to ask for is a D5 liquor license, a new liquor license, which is for spirituous liquor on premises consumption only, beer and wine and mixed beverages for on premises or off premises in originally sealed containers until 2:30. We find no reason to object to this new liquor permit, and I'm here for any questions if you have them.
Any questions? Thank you. Chief Stiegelmeyer, you also have resolutions number 48 and 49-2023, both resolutions to declare surplus property and authorize the sale of said property.
Good evening, Board, again. I do have two resolutions for surplus property, and the reason why they're not on one, I'll explain that in just a minute. The first, and I don't know which one's 48, which one's 49, but what they are is we have surplus police cruisers that we've outfitted our new cars, so we're going to surplus 3 of our older vehicles to gov deals. And the other surplus property is for some firearms that we're trading in with Kiesler's to update our police officers' new weapons. So what we're trying to do is, again, stretch our money for the taxpayers and make everything work that we can. And I'm available for any questions.
Sure. Just for the purposes of those listening at home, Resolution 48 involves the firearms and Resolution 49 involves the vehicles. Any questions? No. Mr. Carlson, you have resolution number 50-2023, a resolution to create a planning intern position.
Good evening, Board. The resolution before you today would allow the creation of a planning intern position. The Community Development Department has previously utilized a planning intern. Great opportunity to help teach the next coming wave of professional planners, while also allowing them an opportunity to help our planning staff through routine work, permitting, code enforcement, et cetera. We have someone who is interested in a planning internship for this summer, so this position would be a seasonal position. So that would add to our complement of personnel. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to discuss.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson. Mr. McCord, you have resolution number 51-2023, a resolution to enter into a contract for health insurance.
Good evening, Board. Resolution 51 is a resolution to authorize the Township Administrator to enter into a healthcare insurance coverage contract for the period of July 1, 2023 through June 30th of 2024. There's a cover memo in your reading materials, as well as a copy of the resolution with the new price points for the coverage in the 23-24 plan. A couple of high notes. We've been working with our outside broker, McGowan Brabender, since March as part of the annual renewal cycle, looking at alternatives, including self-funding that we've been looking at for the last few years. We did receive some additional information this year on our total pharmaceutical and medical insurance spend, although we didn't get a lot of detail, but it was the required disclosures from the carrier, in this case United Healthcare. United actually paid out about $200,000 more in coverage benefits than what we paid in premiums. So we are in quote upside down for this policy year. So we looked at some alternatives, and after going through all that analysis and meeting with both the administrator and some representatives from some of the employee groups just to get feedback on pain points with the current coverage and what might be tweaked or whatnot, we sat down and looked at the alternatives. We looked at about a dozen different options, and the staff were making the recommendation to you all tonight to renew our current coverages with one slight change to the embedded plan, an increase in the deductible from $2,800 for individual to $3,000 for individual, and I believe it's the same $200 spread on the family from $5,800 to $6,000. The remaining elements, and there's a handout that I put on everybody's desk tonight that shows the two embedded and non-embedded plans, carries down and has the new revised renewal rates down at the bottom. We're going to be going from for a single employee, we'd go from $439.25 to $500.31 per year, and that equates to a 14.55% increase over current rates. The other option that was discussed that we've been hearing a little bit of request for, so we added it to the options this year, is bringing back a preferred provider option, a PPO. That's on your handout. That's on the third set of columns, the columns 5 and 6. Just looking at that, the increased cost per employee is offset by that particular plan would not be eligible for the health savings account. So the contribution from the township toward employees' health savings accounts would be used instead of going into an HSA for those employees, it would go to offset the increased cost for that plan. Revenue neutral, it doesn't increase the cost to the township overall. Like I said, we're just, instead of going into an HSA, it would be going to the carrier. I got a question as to, we don't know how many people are going to sign up for that, so that may be something that becomes optional. Or not optional, I'm sorry, if we don't have enough people participating. But that, we're going to put it out as an option and see how many people actually apply.
Thank you, Mr. McCord. Any questions?
No, just to note, those rates are per month that are listed on the sheet, correct?
Sorry,
Yeah,
yes, I misspoke, yeah, correct.
Appreciate that clarification. There being nobody present for the public comment period, we'll move into considerations of resolutions and motions. I make a motion, we adopt the motion for liquor permit at 5558 Springboro Pike LLC at 5855 Springboro Pike, Dayton, Ohio. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp,
Yes.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number 48-2023, a resolution to declare surplus property and authorize the sale of said property. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp,
Yes.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution number 49-2023, a resolution to declare surplus property and authorize the sale of said property. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp,
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 50-2023, a resolution to create a planning intern position. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp,
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution number 51-2023, a resolution to enter into a contract for health insurance. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp,
Yes.
We have no public hearing on the agenda. Department head comments. Chief Stiegelmeier. Thank you. Mr. Schweikert. Mr. Carlson. Mr. McCord.
I have no further questions. No, none.
I think he has none.
I think he's good. Yeah,
think I'm
Chief
good.
Administrator Snyder.
I would just like to thank the Finance Department, and particularly the Assistant Finance Director, Penny, for all of her research and efforts in putting the numbers together. The insurance renewal process is always a complicated process. There are a lot of options to consider and look at, and she was certainly very helpful in running through a variety of scenarios for us through this process. So,
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Elected officials' comments, Mr. Klingerman.
No comments.
Mr. Culp.
No comment.
I share the no comments, and at this time, we have no work session. I make a motion, we adjourn into executive session for conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that are the subject of pending or imminent court action in accordance with Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G3. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Posey,
Yes.
Mr. Culp.
Yes.
We'll be adjourning from the public meeting from the executive session. There'll be no further business conducted. This public portion of the meeting concludes at 6:11 PM. Thank you.